I want to start with this. There are a bunch of high school basketball coaches in America, and they work really, really hard. And high school basketball coaches often work for nothing. High school basketball coaches work for nothing. They do it because they want to be pillars in their community. They love teaching kids. They like being part of a community fabric. They love basketball. I had great high school basketball coaches. We didn't win a bunch of games, but I loved my basketball coaches. I wasn't very good, but I loved them. And they didn't make any money. And they'd have the team over, and they would have big Friday night dinners. We'd watch games together. Tip of the cap to high school basketball coaches. The downside to a high school basketball coach, though, you know what it is. Every dad in town thinks his kid should play more. I was better than most of my teammates and taller, and my dad wasn't one of those dads necessarily, but we had a few of those on the team. Why isn't my son playing? And the downside to being a high school basketball coach is generally you go to the same grocery store as all the dads. Go to the same Home Depot, same Lowe's, same stoplights, same bowling alley, same Applebee's in town. Can't escape them. But yet those high school basketball coaches dealing with all that negativity and all those angry dads and all those whispers, and sometimes they're public. My kid's not playing enough. Those high school basketball coaches still win a bunch of games, win their conference, often win state championships. And we don't pay them a nickel. This week, though, LaVar Ball in another country said, I don't think the guys like playing for Luke Walton. And poor Luke Walton, $6 million a year, NBA professional coach. LaVar Ball's the problem. This is outrageous. All the NBA coaches rush to his defense. How can the media cover? How can he say that? We live in a country where high school basketball coaches deal with high maintenance dads. You have 12 guys on a high school roster, 8 dads are in your ear. 8 dads at the bowling alley, 8 dads at Applebee's. You ain't making a nickel. And they're barking all year, calling you out behind your back, sometimes at halftime, sometimes walking to halftime. Play my kid deserves more. And Luke Walton and the Lakers can't get over loudmouth LaVar Ball in Lithuania? Who cares what he says? You're a pro basketball coach. You're a pro basketball organization. You can't handle LaVar Ball? Listen, I don't believe a thing he says. You know what I would say if I was a coach of the Lakers? Who cares what he says? He's a goofball, a loudmouth. He couldn't play. I mean, this idea that Luke Walton now needs this is some rallying point to support Luke Walton. The Lakers players held a meeting 2 weeks ago before the comments. Why? Because of the toxicity in the locker room. Nobody gets along. The Lakers' problems aren't about LaVar. You'd be idiotic to trade Lonzo. You got an ownership group, Jeannie Buss and Jim Buss. She removed him from the building. You gave Luol Deng $72 million. A, can't play. B, a legendary locker room bad guy. You got a 2-guard that had everything shy of an ankle bracelet on last week. He was going to a SoCal jail on the days he wasn't playing. How do you not know that? Because there's drama around this organization. That's really what happened. He was having to go to like a Southern California rehab place on nights he wasn't playing. Their 2-guard. And Luol Deng and Mozgov's contract and owners don't get along. And you're blaming LaVar Ball for that? High school basketball coaches deal with that crap every day. Luke Walton can just never, ever see LaVar Ball. Just ignore LaVar Ball on this private jet to the next NBA city. Try being a high school basketball coach where you're in the same pasta aisle at a grocery store and 2 dads are like, why isn't my son playing? You know what you do as a coach? You keep your mouth quiet, you put your head down, you bust your butt, part of the process, and you know you're doing this because you want to make life better for kids and you want to be a pillar in the community and you don't get paid anything to be a high school basketball coach, but damn it, you matter in your town and you swallow it and you deal with it, and you don't deal with it once, you deal with it every year for 28 years if you coach high school basketball. Cranky, needy, loud, high-maintenance dads. 8 of them a year. And then those guys leave, and there's 8 more new dads thinking their son's the best player ever. And Luke Walton can't handle LaVar Ball? That shows you how shaky the Lakers are. Deal with it. It's a loudmouth dad. You go ahead and trade Lonzo. See his last 10 games? 14 a game, 7.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists. Now he's back and healthy. They're winning. You go ahead and trade him. Good luck. This isn't about LaVar, and I'm no fan of the guy. This is about an organization that's got all sorts of issues, and if they can't handle this, good God. I mean, the New Orleans Saints won a Super Bowl in the Katrina year. Like, I mean, it literally moved the team out of town. It was catastrophic, and the Saints won a Super Bowl. That's resolve. That's toughness. That's dealing with crap. Families, kids, parents moved out of town. They won the Super Bowl. LaVar said I can't coach. So what? He's a loudmouth. Next. Win more games. Stop making excuses. I am sure you're a busy guy, Nick, and you did not hear me. I wasn't defending LaVar Ball. I was simply saying high school basketball coaches have to deal with 9 needy dads a year swearing their son's the best player on the team. They make no money, and because they're high school basketball coaches, they go to the same grocery store and Home Depot and have to confront that dad constantly, and they deal with it. Luke Walton can't handle a comment from one dad making $6 million a year from Lithuania. I look at Luke Walton and I feel like, get over it. Am I wrong?
All right, so you're right. I didn't hear you make those comments when you first made them. I did hear you and Kristine just both debate 8 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep, knowing I'm coming up and knowing that I work on about 3.5 to 4 hours of sleep every day. So I appreciated that, Colin. It was very kind of you, very gracious.
You could go to bed
To answer your question directly, to answer your question directly, the only reason, and I'm not defending LaVar either. I think what he's doing with his younger sons in Lithuania is objectionable and bad for them. But the only reason the Luke Walton criticism would sting is if there's some validity to it. And I think much smarter basketball minds than LaVar Ball have started questioning Luke Walton as an NBA head coach. I know he had the glow of Steve Kerr and the glow of the Warriors. That glow has worn off some. And while the Lakers do not have the talent to be a playoff team, it is fair to question, do they have the talent? Better than one of the 2 worst teams in the NBA? I think they do. So I'm not backing LaVar on really any of these enterprises or opinions right now, but he might be right about Luke Walton almost by accident.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.